For
I'm
myself.
not to serve as hand. You towed to fetch him. Send word to Otto Hightower. My grandsire may be overcautious, but his devotion to his family has never been in doubt.
Your grace.
So did he call? Wait, so is he calling Otto
Your
back?
Yep.
Well, that's kind of smart.
Not only is he calling Otto back, he's also telling fuck off to slimy ass strong idiot.
Yeah, which isn't really smart, but okay.
Yeah.
See my brother.
I mean,
Alone.
Uh-oh, is he gonna kill him?
I wouldn't put it past him at this point.
Oh.
I can't. As if he was getting better to spite him. Oh, you didn't bring big dragons last episode. She was like, you brought me small dragons. And then she got a big ass dragon in the Vale? What
Ranging
the hell,
more
man?
broadly.
Yeah, but even if she has a big ass dragon in the Vale, doesn't mean that she can do anything about controlling it, you know? It would be more of a liability, I would think, than actually helping, unless she uses this girl to somehow tame it, you know?
Stop wasting your life waiting for something that'll never come.
Sheesh. Okay.
With her flag on it. Oh,
That was smart.
oh, it's like a bunch of them. It was the bullshit she told him that made him go out there.
Yeah.
Great shot.
Wish us luck, sister.
I shall pray to the warrior for your safe return.
I mean, the whole point in this scene, obviously, from a writer's standpoint, from the screenwriting standpoint, is that they're making the analogy between her son and her brother. That, you know, Otto brought her to court and left him behind because someone has to be left behind in Old Town, right? Like to be part of that
Yeah.
society.
Yeah.
So she had to give up one of her sons to go to Old Town. This is the analogy they're drawing here.
Nurture versus nature. It's always that in the end.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could be a great mother and still have
Never.
horrible kids, but I don't know. There's also been behaviors of hers though that just have not really helped her children, in my opinion. You know, from the beginning.
I mean, yeah, like, no,
Like,
it definitely didn't help, but you can't fault yourself completely.
Right. The groundwork for all of the mistakes in the parenting in this family was laid. That's what season 1 was about. You know what I mean? So we already know.
Yeah.
This is what you gotta deal with. We don't talk, we don't have sex. We've been estranged. Spending way too much time on this guy. I wonder if this guy's gonna be a dragon rider. Because I don't know why we even give a shit about him, to be honest.
Probably.
Can I say, poor Helena, she's always just trying to do her own thing. And people in her family are always dragging her to do things that she doesn't want to do that put her in a bad position. You know?
Yeah, no, that's awful for her, I swear.
Poor Helena. As if she hasn't suffered enough, dude.
No!
Oh!
Damn. Oh, that was hard.
Wow. Can this really happen? Okay. Alright. They made it.
My lord.
He's this fucking guy.
Grand
Oh,
Master instructed.
how much you bet that this dude, Strong, Laris, is now going to try to court Aegon since Aemon told him to go fuck himself?
Oh, for sure.
Right?
If he even wants an ounce of power, that's the only way he's gonna get it.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's got the creepiest
That's so
look, or is
stupid.
it me?
He always does. He
it's
looks
like
so.
it's his eyes, it's the way he poses his head, it's the way he's holding his shoulders. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, good job, dude.
You know how he looks, and that's kind of cool because technically they're half siblings, if not full siblings. I think half siblings. him and Alice.
Are they?
The witch in Harrenhal.
Are they half siblings?
She's Alice Yeah, she's a Rivers. So Rivers is the Jon Snow or
right.
of the situation. You know, like
Gotcha.
you get the surname of the
She's
area
the
you're in.
she's the bastard.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they do look so similar in this, and I don't know if it was like if they consulted each other.
Yeah.
But whenever I see him like this, I do think, oh, that's an owl, like looking over people.
Oh,
you know, with those
that's
big eyes.
Yeah, that's.
Observing things.
I didn't catch that one. Yeah.
I don't think it was on purpose, or I don't know if it was, but that's the vibe I just thought about right now. I was like, damn, he's the one that looks like a barn owl. On a stick or something.
And barn owls eat rats. So there's
that's
something
crazy.
there. There's definitely an analogy happening there.
Your mind is all that remains to you. Do not say that gladly. People will pity you. They will stare
Ooh.
at you. Turn away.
So he does care a little for him.
And they will underestimate you. And this will be your advantage.
And whoa, we just got something. Nice. So on the one hand, we got to see finally Laris, like the emotional reason why he does what he does. And on the other hand, we
that was very nice.
yeah, and then on the other hand, we're seeing Aegon in a, finally awake and in a moment of vulnerability, and they're forging an alliance, and that's really interesting because they're forging an alliance again. They're forging an alliance not based on. It's not so much based on like what Laris has been doing all this time, which is manipulating so that he can get ahead. It's more like now we have a connection because now you're fucked up like my foot. Like I was born fucked up and now you're fucked up because of what happened to you. And so we have a connection now. And that's what I like about that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's a really cool way of
Yes.
forming an alliance. It's basically Laris having a soft spot for.
Right. Exactly. That's more meaningful to me. And like I was telling you, I think like one of the other episodes that we saw, a lady that's helping Rhaenyra.
Yeah, the white worm.
The white worm, right? Yeah, because same thing. Because she's motivated not necessarily by just selfishness. She's motivated because, she's suffered, and she wants justice done for the small folk, and she lost everything. So she has a different motivation. Same thing now with Laris and him. It's getting very fractured in an interesting way, where Rhaenyra and Daemon are kind of fractured, and now Aegon and Aemond are fractured. With Alicent.
The families are breaking down.
Yeah, so it's getting more complicated in an interesting way.
For how much we shit on the show, this is something that they're doing really well.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm really glad that they are.
Yeah,
doing
well,
I'm really impressed with it.
That's what I'm telling you. Like, it's annoying where like some of this show has moments like that. Just that scene, magnificent. Like that, amazing. How much of that was, obviously it starts with the writing and it's in there, but how much of that is that that actor, Laris Strong, bringing.
Yeah.
I think that man is serious about his work. He's serious about his character. He's brought a lot of nuances and the background, and he's restrained himself, and because he knew he would have a moment like this one where he can kind of finally let it out. So it's this. You have people like him that can bring you that level of excellence, but then other people are not on that level, and the people that are behind it, like the directors and they're not demanding that. They're not doing it. So it's like very lopsided, where you have amazing scenes like that, and then you have and you're like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It's not it's not cohesive.
Swinging.
This is really interesting. I don't know what's going on with the demon stuff, but it's really awesome.
He's really having. I think the visions are so targeted. Like, it's very specific moments. Every time we see a vision he's having, it's always some kind of family related thing, something he did wrong,
Right.
because he was
Right.
selfish. It's always like, now that we've seen a few of them,
Yep.
a lot of them actually, you can see that kind of pattern. So I wonder if, like, the purpose, I'm not sure, but I wonder if it's to prepare him to something, to like make him see why he should stick with Rhaenyra,
Right.
you know?
That's what we're hoping.
Because
right.
in all of this, yeah, because in all of these, he doesn't know about the prince that was promised prophecy, right?
Right.
And he just is thinking about the throne, just how Alicent is thinking about the throne. So like, I want to have power.
Right.
But like, in the actual, and that's why I'm saying I'm not sure about the purpose, because it's definitely Alice doing this to him,
Right.
but she doesn't seem to exactly be on any side. She just seems to be there, you know,
Yeah.
doing her thing.
Yeah.
So I wonder, it's like, it's really interesting, the patterns that we're seeing and why we're seeing them.
If it's meant to guide
Because
him,
he's doubting a lot of things now.
right. If it's meant to guide him to what you said, then I think so, but it remains to be seen. So. Yeah. He's coming after him because he's like, you're the one, dude. As if you're gonna run away from the dragon. Come on, dude. Watch him go boom. I knew it. I choose you, honey. Good job with the eyes. It almost looks like alive, right? Like it looks almost like real eyes.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm telling you, the budget on the dragons.
woo! Oh, let's kiss and make love.
Literally, like what?
That turned. Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that
Actually.
turned.
Yeah, wow. Okay. You go, girls.
Yay! We found love in a. It's like that Rihanna song. Oh.
Yeah.
You're great. Wait, how is it that like you're supposed to knock, aren't you? Not
Yeah, you are.
like knock,
What the fuck?
knock, dude. Yeah,
He escaped because he's gay.
yeah. Forgetting. Yep, that's it. Okay.
Ooh. Yeah. Alright.
What'd you think?
I liked this episode. It was a little. Maybe a little filler.
Like there just isn't a lot of content, and they're trying to stretch it for I don't know how many seasons they've planned, but there was a lot of things that happened in this episode that were more eventful than the last one, in my opinion.
Because I'm thinking
I don't know the
about
details.
the battles that they have to do. You know, like all of this is building up to a battle
Yeah.
that we are gonna see in the last episode. And
Yeah.
maybe they are like stretching it because the battle scenes need extras. And there was the also the extras, the actors that were playing extras were striking. And there was the whole AI debate thing.
Because they wouldn't have been able to do
Yeah.
any of it. They wouldn't have been able to shoot any of it, really. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not like oh, we don't have writers but we're still shooting. They can't do any work without the writers or the actors. Now, do they still sneak some things? Of course, but I think that they're just trying to stretch the material. I think they already have synopsises for what each season is gonna cover of the book, and so they need to get from point A to point B in this season and then next season. Think about season one. Like, season one was good because there was a lot of it covered a lot of time, right? It basically covered the
Yeah.
entire reign of Viserys. So that's a lot of time. So there was a lot of material that they had to condense. But in terms of what this was really about, we're barely scratching the surface, right? We're barely getting into it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, the battle didn't even start. Even this whole season was like a preparation for the battle.
And if you think about it, Game of Thrones was
Yeah.
what, 7 seasons?
Eight.
Well, that's a good run. Like most series,
Yeah.
if they get to season 5 is already a big deal. So I don't know how much they're planning to stretch this out to, but I'm sure they want to do at least 5 seasons or around that. Maybe they want to really make it 8 like they did Game of Thrones. I don't know. I'm not part of that conversation.
Nah.
That's a lot to stretch.
They better not.
That's a lot to stretch. So
Yeah.
so they're trying to milk it for everything it's worth in terms of seasons.
Yeah.
There's some scenes that are really amazing. That last scene with them was good. Okay, fine. You know,
Yeah,
and I
that
can
was
and I,
crazy,
and I
yeah.
can buy that. I can buy the whole the connection that they have of count emotionally and counting on each other. Like you said, she is her counsel. Yeah, the white worm is her counsel.
Yeah.
Right? And
Right.
I can totally understand
Exactly.
that and given the tensions that translating into a romantic kind of relationship. Fine, I'm fine with that.
Right.
So th-
Especially because she's got like nobody. Damon, who's her husband,
Right.
is like gone.
Yeah.
Gone, so.
although I don't,
I'll take it.
although I feel the guy interrupting the way he did was kind of like they needed to
Yeah.
they needed to interrupt it, so they came up with something stupid to interrupt it. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
The scene with Laris was amazing. You know, like, there's a lot of really amazing scenes. Alicent is growing on me. She's doing better and better. Like, she's getting, you know.
See?
Corlys is still.
I'm telling you, she's not that
Yeah,
bad.
Corlys is still blah, but at least we now understand why his bastard sons come into play, because one's gonna join him, obviously, to lead his fleet, and then this guy obviously is gonna be one of the new dragon riders. So cool. This could have been just a 30-minute episode. That's how much filler was in there.
Yeah, like half the episode was unnecessary. Like,
Yeah.
even the Alicent parts where she was attacked in the street, like, that was necessary, okay?
Yeah, that was good.
But I
That was
felt
good.
like even that was like a little too long of a scene.
When it comes to the dragons, they got it down. But when it comes to human stuff, like, dude, do you guys know? Like, how to write
Do
scenes
you even
between
know how to write people?
right, how to write scenes between people. It's it's hit and miss with a lot of it. The book, if you're gonna spread it out that much, you're not gonna have enough content from the book itself. But if you're a good writer, you can write your own scene, write extra scenes that are good,
Right.
that are within the context of the story of what's happening. You have that license, so do it. Why can't you do it? Because you suck.
Exactly.
Film and screenwriting is a very weird thing, because it's like, it starts on the paper, then it becomes like a play, right, where people are acting it out, and then you bring all the film stuff, which is like the production value, the CG, the editing. So it's like a beast.
Yeah.
It's like a literal beast, where from the writing to the final product, it's anything. Like, it grows into a monstrosity that is not necessarily what the original thing was. And that's why you're supposed to have like a visionary, like the showrunner, to kind of keep that in line and be like, whatever was in the writing.
Yeah, because there's too many people
There's
writing.
too many-
Too many people working.
Yeah,
And too many people.
too many hands in the pot.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta keep the vibe the same
Right.
throughout all the mediums.
And
That's
the
what
what we're having with this show is that we don't have that. We don't have somebody keeping it in line. We have the writers doing their thing. We have the actors in the play aspect of this doing their thing. Some doing better than others, and then you have the whole film, like the CG team that does the dragons. They're doing great. The production, they're doing great.
Yeah.
The editing, they're but the actual cohesion of the scenes into a film form. Ooh.
Exactly.
So, and they're in a time crunch. Like it's not like it's easy. It's not like you know what I mean. It's not an easy thing either. But
Yeah, no, like we're commenting, we're not judging,
but
it's all right,
it's
guys, but
a beautiful monster, that comes out of the monstrosity that is making a movie in a show, or you can have a or you can have a Laris strong. You know what I mean?
oh no, not
You could have.
not Lair is strong.
You could.
I don't.
You could have
I
a.
very much don't want to have Lair strong.
Oh, you know what I mean? Like a lame foot, or like even Aegon, like half.
Yeah.
It's half burnt. The other half is fine, but the other half is burnt to hell.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Like I feel that Favreau keeps that in line. He's got a vision for the show. He knows what he wants to do with it. He knows what's successful with it within the Disney universe, and he is the one making sure that monster remains the monster that it needs to
stays in
be,
line.
rather than just being all over the place. Season 1, I feel benefited immensely from the actor that played Viserys. It just benefited from that.
Yeah, for sure.
So-
There was Bridgerton,
Uh-huh.
season 3 this year.
Uh-huh.
It's been a long time since the Bridgerton thing, so people were hyped, okay? But the creative director changed, and it was completely different. A completely different vibe.
Right.
Like, it's supposed to be a period piece. People had fake eyelashes, a bunch of makeup, and like gel nails.
What?
For a period piece? What exactly? The clothes weren't as nearly good, like to the time period, as they were before. And the vibe was more of a rom-com, like it was more funny compared to the other seasons that were still funny, but it was a different vibe completely. They were pushing also the narrative. It was trying to be more like Game of Thrones in the sense of following a bunch of different storylines rather than just the main characters of each season, which was supposed to be the point of Bridgerton, is like a romantic series, following two leads every season. Okay?
Yeah.
And we didn't have that this season. It was a bunch of different people. And a lot of people didn't like it because it changed from what it was before, which was totally fine. Not to say that this version isn't fine. It's just a very weird decision to change the tone after 2 seasons and the viewer already knowing what to expect.
Right.
So I take it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I saw it happen.
Right. There you
And
go.
it's very off-putting. It's very off-putting. So it needs to have that.
Yeah. Because of the nature of film and TV, because of editing, essentially, like any other art form,
Right.
if you go watch a play, you see it right away. When you read a book, you kind of see it right away. I mean, you can. Editing smooths over the mistakes. It smooths everything over. So like you can just passively watch this show, for example, like even this episode that we said, and be like, oh, it was fine. It was okay. And that's fine, right? But we're talking about the art form of it in terms of like the actual deconstruction of those scenes and what's happening between, like, it's a monstrosity. So there's
Yeah, it is.
and you either see it or you don't, and you either appreciate it or you don't. If you actually appreciate well done film and well done TV for what it's worth, you notice these things. You notice when it's beautifully put together all the way through, or it comes together cohesively well. It makes for a different experience. You know, it's like anything else in life. You can have fast food, and you can enjoy fast food, or you can get yourself a nice steak dinner, and you're gonna enjoy that in a different way than you enjoy the fast food.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The difference of having a play that's being performed in front of you where it's live and you see the mistakes, or you see that, is they can edit out mistakes. You know, they can take different versions of the same, they can do the same scene over until they get what they wanted to get out of it. The dragons were done great, so like you can be like, wow, I got so stunned by the dragons that I missed everything. I like that so much that everything else I'm okay with now because that was so good. And music too, the way the score of the show is as well, that we take it for granted how they use music to manipulate the emotion of the scene. Music and editing, in my opinion, are the biggest things about this that make it easy to, I don't want to say lie, but make it easy to like hypnotize you. I use the word hypnotize.
Yeah, it's,
you know,
it's manipulating your emotions,
Yeah.
because that's what music does.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And the edit
That's what music
and
does.
the editing does too, because it kind of works on a rhythm. So you know, it's a personal way of looking at it. So while in other art forms you kind of can see it more, it's more raw, like when you go see a play, when you read a book, because you're reading the actual words, you're reading the actual diction, you know what I mean? It's a different experience.
Yeah, of course.
The artistry, and whether it's working or not, is more jarring to you than when you're watching a TV or a film show.